Somebody's birthday. I don't expect you'd know who it is actually. Grimwood is the name, I think. There's some so-called restaurateur, I think. I usually come twice a week when I can. We started off making loads and loads of pens for ornamental pheasants, which lasted a few years until we had a very wet, heavy snow one winter, and the weight of it all pushed all the neck down, and so all of a sudden take it all down. But then things got from bad to worse. Put up a polytunnel, fruit cage, and then somebody said, well, perhaps we could have an allotment. Things continue on. He'd bring people around, and he would sort of introduce me to him and say, this is my mentor. And then he'd add, and I'm his tormentor. It started off when I had a heart attack when we were living at Friston. And David was at Friston then, at the Checkers. And I was kind of getting a bit better and wandering around and sitting in the, I mustn't call it the bus shelter, it's the Jubilee shelter. And he comes across and he says, fancy do a few odd jobs? So I said, well, yeah, because I got not much else to do at that time. So, and then eventually he was looking for places to go, and he brought me over here and he said, don't suppose you'd come to Chelmsford, would you? He said, you get your lunch. So that kind of clinched it, really. When I said, when I get 65, I'll have to retire now. Because that's over 10 years ago. Very persuasive in a very nice way. He turns on the charm, you see, and it's hard to say no, that's the trouble. He will suddenly announce that we are going to do something. Yes, the royal we, you know, and you think, well, who is this we? And he kind of looks at you and says, you know, get on with it. It's one big highlight. There was a highlight yesterday, actually. Only yesterday. Fresh off the press. And it's hanging up in the tree there. A highlight. You usually get a list, which can be any length, and then at the bottom it usually says, and everything else. So it can be lots of grass cutting, obviously, and then there's, yesterday we were cutting branches off the tree, and any light bulbs need replacing, anything broken that I can maybe repair, and it just goes on and on and on. Well, like I said before, you know, it's very persuasive, and we get on with what we can do, and what we can't, we have to leave. And I think he always says he appreciates it all, so I take as he's telling the truth. And I keep pulling his leg, and I said, well, this can't go on much longer, you know. Oh, you'll last a long while yet.